This is Interregnum False Prophet. I've teased this game a little bit in other videos. I've been playing it obsessively on my own time. What it is it's a community survival game with a turn-based tactical battle system and the nerdiest inventory management system I've seen in a while. And all of those are very good things in my book. I'm having a great time with it so far. It's got a lot of rough edges. It's still in early access, but I've been really glad that I checked it out, and I'm really looking forward to what it can probably become as the developers keep working on it. So let's start a new game here. I'm not going to get into my older game, partly actually because I'm about to hit a point where I might be a little bit stuck, and maybe I'll talk about that a little bit later. Let's go with Explorer because that allows freer saving and loading, and I don't want to get stuck anywhere during this playthrough. I want to, in fact, accelerate this as much as I can, which means I might skip some parts or edit some things out, or maybe just accelerate some parts to make sure you get to see the whole experience. So the first thing you do is you create your leader. And you can choose between several different sort of like visual types here. These characters sort of that are represented here in these portraits, none of them have any statistical differences. So let's choose Simon. So as you're choosing their age is interesting. As you age them up, they get fewer attribute points to spend on their sort of core attributes, but they get more experience that you can then spend on career stuff. You see, their attribute points get lower, but their career points get higher. So let's actually choose a character with higher career points. This is an old guy. He looks like an old guy. He's getting a gray beard like me. Let's choose a few things for him to specialize in. So one thing I didn't know early on was that you're actually going to have a party of people who will all have different high attributes. So one of the better things you can do, I think, with your leader is instead of trying to invest broadly in all the attributes, pick a couple to be good at, and you can hopefully recruit some people to be good at some other ones. I know that, for instance, I think there's a character with a lot of willpower who always joins your community. So I think I'm not going to emphasize willpower. One that does matter a lot is intelligence. I picked up a character in my main game that had a lot of intelligence, and I ended up having her do all of my intelligence checks, but I don't think she's a guarantee. I think my second playthrough, I didn't find her. So I'm going to go with intelligence for him because that is one you tend to need a lot of. Endurance is another one that you tend to need a lot of, but I should also grab something. Yeah, so I should also grab some strength just so that I can handle the sheer amount of inventory that this character is probably going to want to carry. So yeah, so intelligence, endurance, strength, that's what I gave this guy. Agility, I didn't invest in, which means he's going to have lower action points than other people. And actually, I'm not sure about that decision. Let me take down his intelligence a little bit, give him a little bit more agility to use in combat. And then let's look at his equipment. So there's a few different options you can have. A shotgun-focused one. There's a hunting rifle-focused one. A couple of different ones with pistols. In fact, I'm not sure what the difference is between this 45 pistol and this 9mm pistol. I think they're roughly the same set of options here. This one's got bandages, and this one also has bandages and some food. I don't think they're very different. We got this revolver and baseball bat for if you got a melee-focused person. And a submachine gun, which I haven't used a lot of, but wasting bullets is sketchy in this game. Well, I haven't really used one much, though. So let's go with this submachine gun just for the novelty, because I haven't really played with those very much yet. So phase 2, career points. So you basically can spend points on jobs that give this character collections of skills. So if I wanted them to, for instance, so marksmanship, I think, is one that is valuable. So I could choose officer, for instance, to give him some marksmanship. Maintenance might be good to keep things running smoothly. Commando just feels a little over the top. Detective might be interesting. Knowledge and persuasion on top of marksmanship. Coder gets knowledge and concentration. Let's go with and priest, concentration, leadership. Okay, anyway, let's say detective. So this guy was a detective. So that means marksmanship is now 8, knowledge is 8, and persuasion is 8. Now I've got 4 points still that I can spend. So in addition to being a detective. Now, can I choose multiple jobs? Could he also be a farmer or like a former soldier and like double up on marksmanship? Yeah, it looks like you can have multiple careers in your past, so that's cool. So this guy, he was a soldier, became a detective once he came back from the wars, and now we can also give him like additional extra things that come from his hobbies. These are cheap, small. They're just useful for soaking up your extra points. So if he's just super into guns, we could give him that. I'm kind of making a combat monster character, which is not my usual thing, but whatever. We can also up his knowledge and tactics, which he already has, by giving him video games. So here we go. Actually, I'm sure because, a lot of people watch me for State of Decay, I probably just made the model character for a lot of State of Decay players. And then you can give him traits. So you have to pay for positive traits with negative traits. So you can make him a drunkard, for instance, which means he can handle his alcohol. That's interesting. But alcoholic is the negative side. He gets more alcoholic withdrawal. Diabetic means you lose health after eating junk food. That's interesting. Morale damage under a lot of stress. You need to have your allies with you. I feel like I want to pick at least one of these. So let's go with... morale damage while near a bleeding character, including yourself. So you can't handle blood. Let's go with it. So this guy's a soldier, this total badass, who's like got all of these gun-focused things, but he can't handle blood. I think that's a fun contrast. And then... Pack mule, carry more weight. Absolutely. Okay, because this is a nerdy inventory game and I love it. Okay, so this is my summary of this dude. Let's confirm him and get started. Somewhere in California, 4th of July, 2035.
It always starts like this. Strangers march through the winds of the apocalypse. They think only of what they must do, not of what they should do. The ravenous plundering from the hungry, ignorant of what they set in motion. You were on a sentry shift when you saw them.
Hey, someone's approaching the shelter.
Come on out! Hand over your weapons and we won't have any trouble!
Maybe we can negotiate.
Don't be stupid.
You want something done right.
There's no reasoning with these people. Take positions.
Yeah,
Prepare for the worst.
You tell him, Jody. Okay,
None of you were trained in marksmanship, but still, the basics of gunplay have been taught to you. Here, at the beginning, they always serve you well. If you suppress your opponents, you take control of the battle's momentum. The less they do, the more you can do.
So yeah, there is this really interesting dynamic. So overall, this is like Gears Tactics in terms of the way you can move your character, spend action points, do a lot of different actions during a turn. The similarities, actually, there are some other similarities with Gears Tactics, because this is also a game about trying to maximize the number of actions that you can perform in a turn. Gears Tactics did it a different way, but basically the idea is, on each of these characters, you can see their health in red, and their blue is their action points. And when you suppress them by shooting at them, whether you hit them or not, they lose action points, and you gain tactical advantage, which is basically a communal pool of action points that you can use to let your characters move. So your characters can do more. The more you suppress the enemy, the more you can in turn do on your turn, which I think is a really interesting dynamic. And it doesn't work the other way. They can suppress you and cost you action points, but they're not building up a pool as far as I can tell. So Simon here is my main character, but let's start with Jody, actually, because she's my marksman, and she can do the most damage to people's health by a pretty wide margin. One thing that's interesting is they don't give you a lot of to hit chances. In fact, when you aim at someone, it tells you that you can actually spend action points to raise your hit chance by 10 or 20%, but I don't know what the base hit chance is. I don't know if it's 50%, I don't know if it's 80%, so I don't know what that extra 10 or 50, 20% is doing to my overall chances, which is interesting. The thing that I know is whether my character is shooting from the optimal range or not. So optimal range means you're likely to hit. Suboptimal range means you're unlikely to hit. And it might just be flat percentages. Like I don't know what the percentages are, but I think basically when you have a blue line, you're very likely to hit, and when you have an orange line, you're pretty likely not to. So we can take this guy almost all the way down with just one hit, one shot. And because it's optimal range, I'm not going to bother trying to spend extra action points, because you notice my character, Jody, she's got 55 action points, and it costs 30 to fire. So I can't fire twice unless I get some tactical advantage to give her a few more action points. So first I'm going to fire at this guy. He goes down, and you'll notice he lost action points in addition to health points. And now I'm going to move away from her and see if I can
I'll do my best.
Earn her some action points. So we've got a couple of brutes here. I think these guys are melee fighters. And so what I probably want to do is move Billy into position. Actually, maybe I don't want to move him at all. Maybe what I want to do is just put him into guard mode so that when these guys get close, he can take his turn opportunistically. So I'm going to do that. And then it looks like it costs 22 action points to fire this shotgun. So if I want to shoot at both those guys, if both of them come around this corner, I want to shoot twice, which means I need to use more than his 40 action points. So I don't want to abuse all of my action points if I can help it. So now I've got my leader here with his SMG. You'll notice, by the way, I already got a little bit of tactical advantage. I've got 6 action points already. I want to get this up at least past 9. So what I want to do is... So there's blind fire, and then there's shooting. I think blind fire is cheaper, but you're really unlikely to hit anything. I think the main thing it does is scare them and push down their action points while raising yours. So I could blind fire at them, but I think it only costs 10 for me to fire, and I've got like 45 action points. So I think I'm just going to shoot somebody with this SMG. And you can see there's these 3 different lines going from me to these other characters. I think they deliberately set that up that way so that I could tell there's optimal range and there is super suboptimal range. So let's aim at this. Let's look at what these guys have. I think this guy, oh, you know what? I think he's just got a knife. So he's a melee guy. This guy has a pistol. He's shooting. So I think I'm actually going to shoot at the guy I'm least likely to hit, partly just to show what suppression looks like. So let's aim at him and fire.
Follow me.
Okay, I did hit him, but more importantly, I gained some tactical advantage from shooting at him. So let's do that again. See, I missed that time, but he still lost AP, and I gained AP. So that's the main thing I'm trying to do, because now that I've gained enough AP, I'm going to switch back to Jody, and I'm going to have her shoot the cutthroat. And so now... she's only got 25 AP, but she can pull AP from the tactical advantage. You can see that it's highlighting how much she'll take. So she shoots this guy. He just goes down. And so I didn't bother shooting at him with Simon because I knew I was going to shoot at him with Jody. So now
If you want something done right.
I'm going back to Simon. So this guy, he's bleeding. And I'm not sure how much his health is dropping, but he might fall dead on his turn. However, I don't remember if it's the beginning of his turn or the end of his turn when he does that. So I'm going to take a flying leap and guess it'll be the beginning of his turn, and he might just die on me. So I'm going to shoot at this guy again. Okay, and then I'll shoot one more time, and you'll notice this guy's losing action points. If I hit him again, he's going to lose all his action points. There, so he cannot act next turn because I've been shooting at him so much. So this guy can act, and he might do some damage to me if he gets to act without bleeding to death. We'll have to see. But now I've got 22 action points. That's an entire shotgun blast. So Billy should be in good shape once these guys start coming around the corner. So I think I'm good. By the way, notice my characters up here, because they ran themselves out of action points, they are now vulnerable to melee strikes. So if somebody came up with them in melee because they've been shooting like crazy, that person would have an advantage over them. So you don't want to use all your action points if you think you're facing a lot of melee people. Well, let's end our turn. Okay, yeah, so this guy did not bleed. Oh, in fact, he healed himself. He had time to heal himself before bleeding. But he didn't have enough action points to fire at me. Okay, and these guys, they're avoiding my sight.
I want something done
Take what
right.
we want off your fucking corpses.
Hey, be nice.
These bastards.
Okay, so
Just put down your weapons. We can still talk through this.
Don't waste your breath. Focus.
all right, so now her ammo, I'm going to avoid using her ammo if I can, because her ammo is much rarer and more valuable than his ammo. He's like firing like 9mm or something. She's firing 3.0, I think, something like that, and that's rarer. So I'm going to try to shoot these people. So I think I actually will spend the extra 10 AP to aim a little bit better at this person and see if that makes a difference.
You're pissing me off.
Okay. Yeah, let's try that. That worked. Let's try it again.
Keep going.
And they're dead. I've only got 10 AP left. So I'll try to shoot at this guy once and see if I'm lucky.
Follow me.
I am lucky. Awesome. Well, that leaves us with Billy here.
If you say so.
I could try to come around the corner and shoot these guys. I've got 60 AP now. I've got some AP that rolled over. I don't think you keep all of your AP from the previous turn, but I think some of it rolls over. And so he could shoot both of these guys and move, I think, at the same time. So so it gives you a little preview of who you can shoot from different positions. So if I go here for 14 AP, I'll still have 45, which is enough to shoot them. So I'm going to come over here and then shoot each of these people.
Making my move.
So I didn't kill him, but I did take all of his action points. Let's try this guy too.
Hit.
Okay, yeah, so these guys can't move. I'm out of action points, but these guys can't move. They can't do anything. And then I'm going to run Jody over so that if my guy gets in trouble, she can back him up. Oh, actually, though, I've got enough tactical advantage. Maybe I can, if I get her in the right spot, like here. Now, she has to kind of, from here, she would have to shoot through her friend. I'm not a fan of that. And here, she's no longer at optimal range for her rifle. So what I think I'll probably do is, let's get her to approximately optimal range for if those guys come around the corner.
Repositioning.
And then let's use some of our tactical advantage to back Billy up. And then we've only got 19 if I do that. And so they're going to come, when eventually they come around the corner, I'm not going to be able to do a lot about it.
Good choice.
But I'm going to do this anyway and see what happens. Now, they can't move this time. And so, well, actually, what I should have done is just kept him there.
Keep going.
But we haven't seen someone walk into a trap yet. And so I think I still want to do it this way just so you can see how Overwatch works in this game. So I'm going to run Simon up to just be relevant, though he doesn't have a lot to do. But then I'm going to do the same thing I did before. When they come around the corner, Billy can shoot at them.
I can probably do this.
When they come around the corner, Jody can also shoot at them. And we'll see how this plays out. Oh, he's healing up like a jerk. Okay, so when he triggers my Overwatch, Billy can now act, and he can do whatever. I think there's a few. Oh, Billy's out of ammo. Whoops. Okay, well let's reload. I don't know how many action points that takes. Okay, he's still got 25. He can still shoot. So we're gonna shoot this guy. And we ran him out of AP, so now he can't finish his move, which is cool. So, but that's about all that Billy can do. So we're going to hit continue. And then the other brute can move.
Stop for anyone.
Good choice.
And now he triggers Jody's. And so Jody... Oh, did I shoot the wrong one? She shot them both. There's blow through. So that went very well. And now we get to the fun part of Interregnum, which is inventory management. So I'm going to try not to make you watch me do too much of this. But we've got our 3 characters here. Each of them has got layers upon layers of clothing. Everybody wears, what, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, sometimes 10, 11, 12 different pieces of clothing simultaneously, all of them layered on top of each other because it is freaking cold outside. And each of these things, it has a cold rating that determines like how much cold it sort of lets you deal with, and these all can stack together, which is great. So my best carrier is usually Billy. Yeah, so I can carry 47 kg with Simon. Jody can only carry 38. Billy can carry 60. So I've got this specialist backpack here. Oh, right. I need to actually empty his backpack first before I give him a new backpack. So let me make some room in the battle loot first. So let's have a look. So yeah, so let's pile on the clothing. Each piece of clothing not only has its like armor and cold benefits, it also has, you can see this little ×6 in the blue text. That's how many inventory slots it adds. So for instance, if I add this hoodie instead of a t-shirt, not only does that make his cold rating get better, it also adds an inventory grid. And similarly, Billy doesn't have any pockets in his tracksuit pants, but if I put these jeans on him, it will add 2 little pockets here that he can put, you know, his cola and his thermos in. Now, I still want to keep all these clothes that I'm not going to wear, like this tracksuit pants. I'm not going to wear this, but I can still keep it. In fact, let me have her carry some of it. And some of our camping supplies, because all of these things are valuable as resources. Like everything that you can bring home, even if you can't use it as like equipment in people's hands, you can still use it as resources for your people at home. Now I believe that, so she's only got 2, okay, she's only got, yeah, like basically 7 rounds for her rifle left. And so I feel like she should have a backup long-range weapon. She's our marksman. So I'm going to give her this 45 pistol. We've also got a backup handgun here. But yeah, so let's give it to him. So wait, let's give it to, hold on. We got to move things around here. I'm not going to use this baseball bat. Let's give him the handgun so that he's got a longer range option than the shotgun. Let's also reload that shotgun real quick. And then my character here, let's give him the axe in case somebody gets close. We've also got some 9mm. By the way, look at his. Okay, so he's carrying 35.8 kilograms right now. Let's give him some more 9mm. Oh, that didn't go up. Weird. I could have sworn that ammo had a lot of weight. Am I wrong? Oh, it does have some weight. Yeah. Okay, it does have weight. I think I misunderstood something. She's not great at carrying heavy stuff, so let's hand this over to him. Have him carry all of our camping supplies. Let's grab some this stuff, a bunch of food, a bunch of morale benefits. Let's just take as much of this stuff as we can. Here's some stamina stuff, some morale stuff, some more 9. Oh, whoops. This is 9mm. This is, oh, these are 45 rounds, so those should go to her because she's got 45. We got a gelato bar. I don't know what a gelato bar is exactly, but it's got a bunch of different things. Okay, I'm not gonna try to explain what everything is. We'll take everything. Okay, so now we got our backpack and we got room. So let's take out. Where did I stick the? There. Take out as much stuff from his backpack as we can and swap his backpack out. So now he's got a much bigger backpack. So all the stuff that we can find in scavenge, we're going to put into his backpack. And I'll just keep the other backpack for good measure. Okay, so I think we've done what we can with this stuff. Yep, I think everybody's good, so we'll continue. Oh, but one thing I didn't show you, actually, is how magazines work. So I'll have to show you that in just a moment. But now we've gotten out of the tactical combat, and now it takes us to the world map.
I long for the days when the world made sense. I can still remember the sun on my face. When cities shone. When grass grew. If more of us had known what was going to happen, would it have made a difference? We all saw the dark clouds churning on the horizon. History is full of storms, and we fooled ourselves into thinking we knew the shape of this one. It was a war, but we weren't the soldiers. We weren't even casualties. We were the bullets, fired, spent, sinking in the mud. Our world was broken, freed from the laws of man and of reality. I long for the days when the world made sense. But those days are past. In the cold madness of this new future, there are only two laws. Find what's most important and cling to it with all your strength as you wait for the world to die.
So, yeah, this is not your typical environmental apocalypse. This is a psychic apocalypse. Possibly a Cthulhu-style apocalypse? It's hard to be sure, but the world of this game is like if Snowpiercer met Stalker. It's full of like weird psychic anomalies, nightmare scenarios, that sort of thing. And that's what your people are trying to brave out in the world. So, I thought we were going to the world map because I forgot the order of operations. Actually, what we're going to is one of these. This is a basically a little an event where you go through dialogue. Sometimes you're making choices. Sometimes you're using skills. So let's see what it says. So despite your efforts, a second bandit group breached the shelter. In the dim light, it's impossible to distinguish the living and the dead, or which fate is worse. Now the cruelest part: a head count. These italicized bits, I think these are your thoughts. So I can help count survivors, I can help take care of the dead, check the supplies. Let's check the supplies. The bandits raided them too. It'll take a while to tell how much is missing. Suddenly, one of your squad's mates' voices breaks the silence. Emile? Emile, has anyone seen my brother? Only silence answered her. I'm so sorry, Jody. He's not here. If he's alive, then he's been taken. Even if he's alive, hope is slim. Since the collapse, anything taken is as good as gone. Most people have gotten used to loss. But have I? Have you forgotten your own child, alone, lost in this frozen hell? Torn from your arms in the chaos, taken aboard a military transport. All you know from begging is that they were taken south, miles and miles. In this new age, by the way, Miles and Miles is the name of someone's son in Snowpiercer, which is funny. It makes me think, is this is my child's name? It's probably not, but there you go. In this new age, an impossible distance, each day the loss hollows you afresh. We can't just sit here. And Jody likes that. So everyone's morale is going up, and sometimes characters can even level up their morale with experiences in these settings. Your fist slams the table. The blow commands silence, and the shocked eyes of the survivors turn to face you. It's suicidal, they seem to say. Maybe, but I'd rather die on my feet. Hell, it's the least we can do after failing them. For Billy, the world ended before the collapse. Even when he was homeless and abandoned by society, he never lost his heart of gold. Glad to have you along. And that helped his morale. If I'd said something mean to him, I think it would have hurt. We'll get Emile back, no matter how those bastards try to stop us. Jody grew up in the years before the collapse. Her future was ripped from her, and she's driven to protect the scraps. We'll get our payback. Just you wait and see. Don't be... Yeah, let's get our payback. And she likes that. Nobody else spoke up. Not everyone has the resolve to walk into the fathomless cold. The bandits came from the riverside shelter. That's your destination. It's time. You open the shelter door with a blast of light and snow. The freezing wind cuts through you, and you take your first steps into a world that belongs to no one. So here's the world map that I was talking about. So this is actually where you spend most of the game. You don't do a lot of tactical combat unless you walk into something. So the riverside shelter's way down there, and we've got to get there in one piece. So yeah, we've got a tutorial for the world map, but I know how it works. And I just realized I'm a little bit worried about the volume of the music. I'm worried it might be interfering with me at some point. So let me go into my options here and turn the music down just a bit. I'll turn it down to half, and hopefully, if it has been hard to hear me over the music, that will be fixed. Yeah, so here we are. So this is my people standing here on the world map. And the world map is full of interactive locations, things that you can search for supplies, like this mansion, for instance. So if I click the mansion, my people will walk down this path, go to the mansion, and search it for stuff. And the reason why the game is a little bit slow is because I cannot resist searching every single building. And so we've gone through, we found a bunch of stuff. So let's see here. We've got some food of various types. We've got some soda. We've got more food. We've got a sweater, but it's only 20%, condition. So actually let's, yeah, so it's pointing out, by the way, these quick access slots down here. These are things your character can use in the middle of combat. The stuff up here, they can't. So if you want something to be usable in combat, you got to stick it down here. And these usually come from your clothing. Like your backpack gives you this stuff above the line. Your clothing gives you these slots below the line. Okay, yeah, so it's giving me all of that. So I've been having her carry clothing and stuff mostly because she doesn't have as much sort of encumbrance capacity. So actually, let me just put all of the food on Billy, because it's a little bit more convenient to just know that that's where all the food is. He's also got the medicine. And yeah, so I've got a bunch of food here, and actually you'll notice my encumbrance is really high. So let's take this food off me, and let's put it on Billy. So like things stack up to a point. There's stacking limits though. And you see what I'm doing here? This is a lot of the time in the game. But I enjoy it. So, just bear this in mind. Depending on how you play, especially like if you're stopping at every, scavenging location like I do, you will be doing a lot of this. So I'll give him some soda, and I've got this little morale thing here, and something to start a fire. Okay, cool. We're done searching the mansion. So as you can see, there are a bunch of places that we could search like this. There's a grocery store, which is likely to be full of food. There's a gun store over here that's likely to be full of guns and ammo. So I think that... Oh, and here's a pharmacy, which will have medical supplies. So why don't we do a little bit of searching? Let's not search every house, but let's do a little bit of searching to sort of show what that's like. And I'm going to try to have the willpower to resist the temptation to search every single building on our way. We'll try to keep this a little faster. But, I mean, this is one way that you keep your people alive, is searching all of these things. So, now we've got a sweater here. And, one thing you should note, our characters all have these different coldness ratings. Right now it's -4 Celsius outside. And if you've got enough, clothing to protect from that level of cold, you have a red thermometer on here, which means you're fine. But Jody has a blue thermometer. Her clothing is a little thinner, it's not as good, and so she actually needs a little bit of extra help, because so her cold is basically, her temperature is going to be dropping, and if it gets down low, she can have some problems. So let's take this turtleneck and swap it in for her t-shirt. And hopefully that will make a positive difference to her cold protection. And then let's grab some soda. Let's grab another gelato bar. Let's grab some cooking oil, some more fruits, some more of... Oh, these two food items have the same icon, which drives me crazy. They don't stack, but they look like they should. And some matches. I'll show you what all this stuff is worth later. Let's go to the pharmacy to get some medical supplies, which we might need in the heat of combat, so that's good to go after. Let's see what medical supplies we have. So, Jody's... Oh, Jody got injured! No! Jody's health just went down because we were searching recklessly or something. So Jody needs to carry some bandages so that she can use them in combat. Let's see if everybody else has bandages ready. Yes, it looks like Billy's got bandages. And my guy, he's got some bandages. We'll bring some antiseptics. So a lot of this stuff is not actually usable in the heat of combat. A lot of the stuff I'm picking up is stuff you can craft with, and a lot of crafting is actually unlocked very slowly through progression at your, like, mobile settlement, which we haven't even found yet. This is the gun store. Oh, Viper rifle. Okay, that's good. So Jody's got this hunting rifle, which is... I'm trying to figure out where the best place for my face is. Maybe it's up here. She's got this Viper, this antique rifle, which does 42 damage, penetration 40%. The Viper rifle, 52 damage, a little bit more. But yeah, it fires. They both fire 300 Magnum. That's what it was. So okay, so what I'm gonna do is let's take this rifle off her, put the new rifle on, but then let's unload. This is okay. Let's have a look at how like ammunition works. This is so nerdy and I love it. So you unload the magazine, but then the magazine has to be loaded with ammunition. So we've only got one 300 in there. We got 4 300s here. So let's fill that up with 300 and put that back in. Then let's also unload this magazine, and then let's make sure she's got a backup magazine in her pocket. And then we've got more 300 rounds. Okay, good. And we've got some buckshot, which we can give to Billy for his shotgun. And then actually, while I'm at it, okay, I don't think, do we have any? Okay, we do have some 9mm. Here, let's split this stack of 9mm. And, I don't know, 15 and 18, I guess. Let's give Billy some 9mm. And let's unload his pistol, put some more 9mm in it, reload it again. Let's make sure we hold on to this rifle in case somebody else wants it. And then similarly, okay, yeah, she's got 45 for this one. She's all full up. But my SMG, it's got a different size magazine. Let's fill that up, put it back in. Okay, so now we're all loaded up. Something about that little extra touch, though, of dealing with the magazines, like that's a very Project Zomboid or DayZ level of just silly verisimilitude that I just love. It's so exactly my vibe. So it looks like over here there's a point of interest, some kind of event. So we'll head down this way. And so now we go into this mode. A house nearby has a warm orange light streaming out from its windows. It's so inviting you can't help but come closer. You pull at the doorknob, but it's locked. You're ready to break in when footsteps come to the door and it opens to a normal home on a normal day. You can see a sunny late afternoon streaming into the windows, even as the outside remains cold and gloomy. A man stands in the doorway, confused. Behind him, 2 small children are laughing as they play with toys. Can I help you? How is this possible? Reality shivers. The world is denser around you. And I earned some anomalous essence, which is a thing. We'll probably see what that's for later. What do you mean? As you explain the situation, he seems entirely bewildered by your account of the apocalypse, and somewhat amused. Listen, I don't know what you're on, but the world's fine. Nothing's happened. I think I'd know if... He steps outside his door and instantly goes silent as he starts to fall. He topples in slow motion as his skin rapidly dehydrates, his body turns into a leathery husk, and his clothes turn ragged. By the time he hits the ground, he was never anything but a corpse. The house behind him is cold and empty, and in place of the playing children are 2 similar, smaller husks. So I got some anomalous essence, which is a valuable resource, which we'll probably get into a little bit later out of that interaction, but that was creepy, and the game is full of that. There are so many little events like that are just like somebody is just coming up with nightmares, and it's great. So no criticism there. That's one of my favorite parts of the game. So I'm going to quickly save, just to be cautious, because I don't quite know if occasionally one of these events will turn into something like combat. And one thing about combat, you saw the opening combat, which I've played through it 3 times already. I know how to win that one. There's a lot of combat where if you do something slightly wrong, a character can just be killed outright. And so because we don't want to deal with that, if we do end up getting into combat and I just get killed outright, I'm probably going to reload a save, just to, not make you, and maybe even skip it in editing so you don't have to deal with watching the same thing again and again. Okay, there was a little blip just there because OBS lost sight of the game and I had to hotkey it again. I also realized I was recording at the wrong quality. I don't think it made that much of a difference to the experience, but we should have better quality from here on out. Anyway, not a lot happened. I caught it pretty fast. So all we did was walk up to this point of interest and talk to whoever this is. With some time and elbow grease, you pry the boards off a window and smash your way into an abandoned house. In the middle of ransacking the kitchen cabinet, someone enters the room. A grizzled man points his shotgun at you, his hands trembling. Drop it, all of it, and get out of my house. In the days to come, you'll face many challenges, and you must decide who will face them. Those best suited for the job or those you consider expendable. The choice is yours, violence or starvation. Okay, so we can say we mean you no harm, which could have any outcome based on what they've just decided to do with the story. But I can tackle him before he shoots with strength. So let's choose this, and we can see what anomalous essence is all about. Remember what I got from that weird scenario with the guy who seemed fine and then suddenly he desiccated into a frozen corpse? I gained 20 anomalous essence for that. That's what this number is, this 50. So the way this works is, first I choose the character I want to use. So Simon here, his strength is 23. That's my main character, and his strength is higher than everyone else's, so he's the right character to use. And this is basically a D20 system. You've got a difficulty level here, 30, which is what I tried to hit. My character with his skill of 23, with his strength of 23, he's going to get at least 23, but then I can add a D20 to the roll. Now, if this D20, if I get 7 or higher, I meet this number and we're good. If I get less than 7, then I can spend anomalous essence to roll additional dice to try to get up high enough. So basically, when you go and investigate those points of interest and you have these weird experiences with anomalies, that gives you a resource that you can use to cheat your die rolls higher. You can't necessarily get them ridiculously higher. There's always an element of chance involved. But this reminds me a lot of like the turbo tokens in the latest season of Dimension 20. Yeah. So anyway, I've got a resource that lets me augment my rolls. So let's roll this d20 and see what happens. Okay, so we got 12. They got us up to 35, so I don't need to spend any anomalous essence. Great. So the maneuver catches him off guard. His shotgun confiscated. He stumbles back, eyes wide. Clearly he fears the worst. And then I'm like, we won't hurt you. And Billy liked that. And now I've got an auto shotgun and a toffee bar. I stole his food too. Why not? Okay, so this auto shotgun, it does 57 damage. Let's compare that to this hunting shotgun, which does 24 damage. That's way less. So what I should do is unload my shotgun, swap it for this one, and reload this shotgun. So it carries 6 rounds and it does like twice the damage of this one. So that's awesome. Let's also take the toffee bar, because why not? And I've only got a little bit of space left for stuff. I can carry this, but pretty soon I'm going to have to start making some decisions. And I did just get my character, what am I trying to say? His encumbrance is very high now. So, if I wanted to reshuffle all of my stuff, I could probably get it lower, get Billy to carry more of the heavy stuff. That would take some time. I'm not going to bother. All right, let's move on. So you can also, in addition to searching buildings, you can search like smaller containers like this truck. That doesn't open an inventory screen. You just are handed something. So it's a little quicker. So I would normally be searching all of this stuff, but I'm going to skip it in favor of moving a little faster. So I think what I want to do, actually, so our destination is down here. And I think what they expect us to do is go this way. So let's do that initially. And now we've got some military remnants. Heading through a mountain pass, the sound of rumbling engines echoes around a sheer rock, and then they come into view. At the sight of the approaching military convoy, your fellow survivors cheer. For the average person, the sight of the U.S. military in force might be a relief. Jeeps and trucks encircle you. The cheering gradually dies down as a stone-faced soldier emerges from a military truck. Are you the one in charge of this group of renegades? Puppets, dregs of what they used to be. We're not renegades. Billy thought that was cool. I'm Adam Lane, Corporal of the U.S. Army Emergency Division. Martial law is in effect, and all civilians are to return to their assigned shelters until further government instruction is received. Government instruction? We're dying in there. Jody thinks that's funny. The man falls silent. He fixes you with a hard, hungry stare. The corners of his mouth twitch. Believe what you want, but we're still the hand of the U.S. government, and the fist, if necessary. I'll look the other way this time, but this group is hereby dissolved and will be taking a portion of your illegally procured goods, understand? So you only have the option to let them do it. So they stole some soda. So they don't take very much. This is tutorial. They're not going to be messing with you too badly. But yeah, so they rifle through our stuff, steal our soda, and now they're going to be watching us. So let's get out of here. So yeah, so they're still here. And I think I just can't go through this way. So at least that's how I interpret it. So let's go out this way instead. And so finding ways around to sort of navigate places like this is a big part of the game. So let's look at this observation tower. And it reveals that there is a way into town if I cross the frozen river. So let's do that. Now, water is interesting. It's frozen, so you'd think, well, this is just nature's highway. I can just take this wherever I want. But there's this concept called frost madness. When you walk out on ice, your frost madness bar increases. And I think, I've never filled it before. I think bad things happen to your people when it fills up. Let's go to this point of interest. On the shore, a man rocks back and forth, over and over. His limbs wrap around himself, and he shivers violently despite his heavy clothes. He stares out onto the ice, where others stagger and surge in seemingly random directions, screaming out. Others quietly writhe on the ice. You've seen something like this before. When people survived long enough to return to the shelter, they often returned like this. Can I guide the others off the ice? They seem unaware of your existence, desperate to escape the ice, yet unable. Frozen blood drips from their ears, leaving them with no balance, no sense of direction. They whimper as they twirl until they fall. Even when one makes it off the ice, they end up slipping and stumbling back onto it anyway. There's nothing to be done for them. So... Frost madness? What's that? Oh no! So yeah, so basically... they're just really trying to drive home with the stuff you encounter, especially in this first area. They're really trying to drive home that this is not your normal climate apocalypse. This is something creepier. This is a horror survival game, much more than it is like some kind of military or traditional apocalyptic survival game. So let's get back up onto land. And, ooh, so we've got some bandits and some survivors out here. Let's get away from the ice so that our frost madness goes away. You'll notice it slowly starts going away as we travel. Now, these bandits and survivors, we could get into a fight with either of them. The survivors will sometimes, like, seem nice, and then they'll mess with you if you don't, like, hit past the right checks. But I'm thinking about how long we've been playing so far. And I think what I'd like to do is get to the Riverside Shelter. And have the encounter there to wrap this up. So let's dodge this fight and go down this way instead. Now, if I were playing on my own without an audience, I would be going through and like scavenging everything I could, having every encounter. But I kind of want to get through. I want to get through the basics so you can sort of see what's going on. So. Yeah, let's head into the Riverside Shelter. The sign reads Riverside Shelter. It's the same make and model as Hilltop, down to the door and floor tiles. So that's where we started, was Hilltop. Armed bandits emerge to intercept you, and one comes forward. Any closer and we'll shoot. You bastards aren't getting anything back. Our shelter was packed from the... whatever. Screwed over from the start. You didn't have to steal the food or the kid. We could have helped you. So Billy nods along, but Jody actually wanted me to be more aggressive. So her morale goes down. Didn't have a choice in doing what we did. We had nothing here. Nothing. And the military, man, they came around looking for the kids, asking us to hand them over for extraction, for supplies. It's better for them too, right? The kid will be safe with them, as long as you don't make any stupid moves. I still remember what the soldiers told me when all this started. They took my child to a distant, safer shelter. Nowhere was safe from the collapse. So basically, I think these folks stole our kid to pay off the military who's been gathering children. And that becomes sort of a major plot point that I haven't resolved yet. I don't know where it goes, but the military has been gathering children. And I suspect it has something to do with whatever psychic experimentation led to the apocalypse in the first place, but I don't feel like I understand really what's going on. All right, so I could appeal to their basic humanity. There is only one way this ends, though, so maybe I'll make Jody happy and just take aim. I expected Jody to react positively to that, but I guess not. I've never done that one before. I usually appeal to their humanity. So now we've got another combat. You get a chance at the beginning of combat to make sure that everyone is equipped the way you want them to be. And I think I have already preemptively made sure that was true. So we'll go in. But this can be a tougher fight. I have lost people to this fight before.
If you want something done right.
And what usually happens to me is these two characters up here will attack me from the side, and similarly, at least one of the characters from over here will cross this gap, and just basically whoever I've got in this position is in trouble. And so what I've done in the past that was wrong was try to spread my characters out, like send characters around this way to attack these people. I shouldn't do that. I need to keep all of my heavy hitters together so that when they attack me, I can focus whatever fire I need to on the people who are threatening me the most. So, I think this Marauder, I think they've got a shotgun. So I want to take them down quickly. The Scavenger, I think, has got a pistol, which makes them also dangerous in a different way. The Marauder can just kill you in one shot with their shotgun if they're lucky. The Scavenger can shoot you several times because each of their gunshots costs very, very little. So basically, what I think we need to do is preemptively do as much damage as we can to the people who are...
I can probably do this.
...the closest. And also try to stay out of their range. So I think that... right here, you'll notice I don't have a line of sight to him. He's behind cover, and I think that if I'm here, I'm also behind cover to him. So I'm going to use just 14 action points to get Billy here under cover, and then if the Marauder comes at me, I'm going to hopefully be able to shoot him. And then...
if you want something done right.
With Simon, I'm going to try to do something similar. I'm going to try to cluster everybody together. And with Simon, you know, Simon, he takes more action points to move because he's encumbered. I'm going to aim this way in case somebody comes charging at me. And then Jody... so it costs... what does shooting cost? 30 action points. So if I move her 25... that means I can still shoot someone. I don't know if she can shoot anyone out. Okay, so she could, if she's lucky, take this guy out right now. I think, yeah, this Marauder, he'll have to take some time getting close to me before he's a danger. And this guy, no line of sight. But this guy, I think it's worth aiming, getting a little bit of extra chance, and then trying to take him out early. So let's do that. Okay, we missed. At least he lost some AP, and I gained some tactical advantage. But now, I think I'm going to... what should I do? Maybe I should just keep her where she is. There's not a lot... if I could switch her to her pistol in case somebody gets close and she needs to fire. But unfortunately, switching to her pistol will cost 10 action points, which will leave her with only 5 plus this 3. She wouldn't be able to shoot anyway. So I'm going to keep her with her rifle. And I think this is all I can do this turn. So yeah, the cutthroats, I think, are melee only. And he's drinking some energy drink, I guess. So the scavenger's got a pistol running up. Okay, so this scavenger can't shoot this turn because I cost them some AP. And they also might not have line of fire. And then the marauder gets close.
It's
Oh,
my time to shine.
so one thing that I'm expecting they will probably do as they work on this in early access is give us some sense of when our Overwatch radius is blocked by something, because you saw that I had an Overwatch radius that the Marauder walked right into. But I think the reason he was able to walk right into it is because I was actually blocked in that position. So I think in Gears Tactics, they do show you which areas in your Overwatch are blocked and which ones are not. And so I suspect that they'll probably need to add that at some point, but it's not in the game yet.
If you say
However, this guy is close enough now. I think I can annihilate the crap out of him. The problem is this scavenger up here.
Good choice.
Can I see them? No. No line of sight to any of these people. So, okay, so if Jody wants to do anything, she's going to have to move. Luckily, I saved some AP from last time. And in fact, I think I had about 15. So I think she kept all of her AP from last time. So she's got a bunch now. So hopefully that means I
I'll
can
do my best.
do something good with her. But let's step forward. And now I can see the Marauder. So let's use our amazing new auto shotgun. And completely blow that guy away. Now, if I try to shoot them as well, I think that's not going to go nearly as well. And it will use a bunch of my tactical advantage. So I'm not actually sure what to expect from a shotgun loaded with buckshot at this range. Will I miss entirely because it's so long? Or will I just do really limited damage because the spread is so wide? I'm genuinely not certain, so I want to try it just to see. Okay, so it's a miss. They lost some AP. And now Billy is vulnerable to them, so I got to be cautious. I think it might be worth it to me to use basically all the rest of my tactical advantage
Making tracks.
to get him back under cover. And now I can move Simon out here. Simon is at a slightly more effective range.
You're dead.
And he can shoot several times because it only costs 10 action points to shoot his submachine gun. So I'm basically going to keep firing
Follow me. That hurts.
and hopefully run this person completely out of AP.
Keep going.
And that means they're not going to be able to fire back at me. So we're basically controlling the battlefield, and they're down to 1 health. And actually, I can fire at them one more time. So I think what'll probably happen if I don't shoot at them one more time is they're going to use a bandage and try to come back. No, wait, no. They have no AP. They can't use a bandage. They're screwed. They're not worth a bullet. So let's worry about this person. No line of sight. Okay, but I've got 70 AP. And it costs less than 10 to step out. And so now... Oh, yeah. They're dead. Oh, I missed. Okay, it was optimal range, but I still missed. Luckily, I have 2 shots I can take. There we go. That's what I expected. So, that got us a bunch of tactical advantage. I don't know. This Marauder's got a lot of movement points. He might be able to get up here and do some damage to me. So I think I'm going to use some of my tactical advantage to get back under cover. And similar, Simon's still got a little bit left. So I'm going to, try to get to a position, using some tactical advantage, get to a position where the Marauder's going to have a harder time hitting me. And then we'll end our turn.
Come out. We just want to talk.
Oh, okay.
Didn't even hurt.
Whew. All right, so they had to move so far. They didn't have enough AP to attack me. Okay, the Marauder's trouble. Oh no, oh no. Yikes.
Not another one.
And now Jodie's dead. That's what can happen. Like, you saw, I was very carefully hedging against this, and I still lost Jodie. And she was my major damage dealer. We're in big trouble now. So I do have a save from before this. I could go back and reload it, but for the sake of just, I don't know, demonstrating the combat, I think what I'll do is let's finish this combat, and then I might try to redo it to get Jodie back so that we can continue in the future. Because it's really rare to get new recruits, and being down a person is a big problem. So I'm going to move up here.
Follow me.
Notice it's recording a miss for both characters.
Keep going.
They're both close enough to my line of fire
Follow me.
that they're being suppressed by it.
Keep going.
Okay, this guy's screwed. By the way, one thing that's interesting, these guys, they get a chance to act before their bleeding kicks in. Jodie did not get a chance to act before her bleeding kicked in. That's why she died. So I think that what happens is, I think there is a general bleeding phase that happens for everyone, maybe? Or, because I don't know why their bleeding happens after their turn, but my bleeding happens before my turn. And I think it could be that just all bleeding happens between their turn and my turn. And so I think if I had any, because I get to watch them getting to use bandages to de-bleed themselves before they're debilitated, before they're destroyed by it, I would really love it if my guys got the same chance. And so, like, I realize the game's already imbalanced. I've got tactical advantage and they don't, for instance. So the game's already tilted in our favor in a lot of ways, but I'd probably advise, just to avoid that frustration, I would advise the developers to say, let's put a bleeding phase at the end of both turns and have each team get to address their bleeding before the bleeding kicks in. That would feel less frustrating to me. So anyway, so Simon has used all of his action points. Billy has not. But it's going to be difficult to get into a position where I can do some damage. But, okay, no. Okay, I can get that far. Let's see how much tactical advantage I have. Okay, I don't have enough AP, even with my tactical advantage, to shoot them with my auto shotgun. So I think I'm just going to... Wait, really? Even with tactical advantage? I've got 20 of these. And it only costs... How much does it cost to shoot? 30. Okay, never mind. Yeah, no. I should have done... I could have probably done some math and avoided this problem. But I don't think either of them can act anyway. Yeah, they're both stuck.
Follow me. Mercy.
And then he's dead. So now we'll fire. Wait, I still don't have line of sight on him? Really? Oh, wait. No, oh, I've got the wrong guy.
So.
This guy's got line of sight on him.
It's a little reckless,
Oh
but
God.
So Jodie's dead, and it's Jodie's brother we're here to rescue. But now it shows all three of us standing here, but oh, wait a minute. Jodie's not dead. Okay. I'm still learning about this game. I assumed if Jodie was taken out like that in combat that she was dead. Dead. And I've been reloading when that happened. So I didn't know that a character survives that. I mean, her health is real low. She's in trouble. She's injured. Oh, and now if she falls in battle again, she's dead. And so I'll probably have to do something to help her recover from that injury. And I'm not sure what. But this is cool. I had no idea that they were actually that forgiving. That's great. So, okay, because I was really worried about the fact that it felt to me like the combat was just really, really punishing. I'm just going to try to work on this stuff while I'm talking. That people could just be killed in an instant sometimes. And it felt really odd to me that it was so difficult to avoid that. But it looks like... Let's see here. Let's give her a little face mask. Is that better than this? No, it's worth nothing. to cold ratings. Screw that. Keep your neckerchief. But yeah, so I was really worried about that. I thought that was potentially a bad move by the developers. I'm going to dismantle this gun into junk because we just don't have room to carry it. I was worried that was a bad move because I'm like, man, like this game has, you know, so many really harsh consequences. I'm worried that it'll end up just being sort of a save and reload fest. That I'm sort of motivated to just never take. Because it's so harsh to lose a person, I was motivated to just never take any of the consequences and just always reload. But now that I realize characters can actually come back from this, I like this game even more. I already liked it. I like it even more. I think that was a good decision, and they should be proud. I'm going to dismantle that clothing. So when you dismantle something, there's a chance that you're going to get something like rags or junk from it, but there's also a good chance you'll get nothing. So here I'm getting rags. Yep, getting plenty of rags. These pants don't have a lot of space in them. This hat. Is the hat better than anybody's existing hat? Oh, this guy doesn't have a hat. You get a hat now. Okay, cool. Cool, well that's great. I love what we're discovering about this game. This is like my third playthrough of this sequence. I had no idea characters survived death in combat. The last of the bandits hit the ground. Drained from the fight, you all trudge over their bodies into the riverside shelter. And it's a nightmare. There are more corpses inside than outside. The child is found, curled up and crying in a locked room. Emil, I'm here now. Don't worry. You'll be safe with us, kid. Jody smiles. Jody bundles him up in warm clothes. He clings to her, wordless and timid. Now, if she had been injured in the previous fight and then killed here, I wonder how this would have played out with Jody dead. Hidden in a bundle of clothes is an odd silvery device. It's labeled Ansible and occasionally crackles with radio interference. Let's inspect it. It looks like a radio, but far more dials and buttons than you'd expect. No identifying labels. We're going to hold on to that. So this is like this does become like a MacGuffin in the future. There's a character that you can recruit who loves this thing and fiddles with it all the time. But I only recruited her in one playthrough and not in another. So I don't know what the rules are for like where you get other characters. But anyway, so now we have to get back home. And that is actually where the game proper is going to begin. But before we go up there, we're going to need to rest. We're going to need to camp because we got a character with who's got some messed up health here who we're going to need to heal. And also, which I think we can actually do that anywhere, but our characters are also getting tired. You'll notice that they've got their yellow bars are getting low, and they could eat a little bit too. Their green bars are getting low. So let's hit the camp button. And let's check out camping. That is like, I think, the main mechanic we haven't seen yet. So, to camp, you click this campfire, and now you've got to make two sets of decisions. One is how long you're going to sleep. Let's sleep for 8 hours. And then you put stuff. Can I burn this? I don't think so. It's metal. You put stuff in the fire to make it warmer, which helps you recharge your stamina and helps you like recover things like I think morale and your cold. Your cold will definitely be improved. And then you put food in the pot for your rations to fill up your stomachs. So actually, one thing we should probably do is use that bandage. Oh, that didn't heal her. No, it didn't. Oh, I'm on him. I thought I was on her for some reason. That's stupid. I clearly wasn't. She should use a bandage. Okay, I just wasted a bandage on Billy. Whatever. So she's going to use a couple of bandages. Unless, actually, let's fill this stuff up with food. Let's see if healing is actually going to happen. I know she needed at least one bandage, but let's start putting some food in here. So let's fill it up with some rations. Let's find something we can burn. Who's got my matches? Okay, so things that start fires, like matches, those can be used to make the fire more roaring. You can also burn things like bandages if you want to. You can burn clothing if you want to. Wait, the Ansible's an object? I've never noticed it being an object before. I don't remember seeing it in my other playthroughs. That's odd. And let's see. So if our rations include things that improve your morale, you can also end up with morale benefits. Right now our morale's going to be -5 because we have starvation rations. But other stuff that I put in there can help with that. Who was carrying all my food? I think this guy was. So I'm going to grab the food that is not in full stacks. And let's just fill it all the way up. Let's get sufficient rations. There we go. So we've got full rations. So now, yes, everybody's going to gain 20 health and 18 morale and a bunch of nourishment, probably more than we needed. And then we're only getting a little bit of warmth and stamina because our campfire is still small. So we can still burn some more clothes if we want to. We can also burn more flammable foods, like greasy foods, like this cooking oil will improve the campfire. These chips will improve the campfire, which I just think is fun. But yeah, we can burn these t-shirts because they're not going to give me that much in the way of cold protection. Clothing wears out over time, and you have to keep replacing it. But it doesn't ever lose its inventory capacity even when it wears out. So sometimes I'll end up keeping a useless piece of clothing around for a while to keep the inventory capacity. So we've got these 2 small backpacks. This one is smaller though. Can I burn it though? I can't burn it, so whatever. Do I have anything else I can burn? Yes, she was carrying some clothing. Let's burn a bunch of clothing. Everything else I think is stuff I want to keep. Now, if I had been scavenging more, I would probably have more things around that I can... Oh, wait, no, we've got a gas lighter. Aha, that fills it up. And a flint. Okay, so now we've got a full roaring bonfire and full rations. Now, I just used a lot of stuff. And that was probably inadvisable. I probably should have skimped on it a little bit more, but I mostly just sort of wanted to show you the range of different things that all could be burned or eaten. So let's hit rest. Confirm. And so now 8 hours pass. It's going to be very early in the morning when we wake up and very cold. But our characters will be all full up, and 2 of our characters have got some morale advancement, which is going to matter later. It doesn't matter yet. So up here somewhere was where I ran into that military convoy. I'm not sure if I'll run into them again on my way back. Let's give that a try. Oh. Our civilian contacts at Riverside have gone dark. Adam Lane. We encountered bandits. So, okay, I'm hearing this on the Ansible. Okay, so basically, I'm hearing now that the military who stopped me, they're now going after... They're going after Hilltop. They're going after my home. And I will not stand for that. So let's head up. Okay, so real quick, this is an anomaly. We should investigate it. These are kind of like the anomalies in Stalker. It takes so little to break a world. The cold and the wind might have been enough on their own, but some forget that there's more to the collapse. Every so often there's a reminder, and one floats before you now. A beach ball-sized clump of debris hovers in the air. Objects phase through one another, jittering, occupying the same space. Ah, the beautiful senselessness of anomalies. Frequently dangerous, always bizarre. Look at that! Incredible! Billy loves it. The mass bobs, apathetic to your existence. Perhaps someone could reach in and dig around for something anomalously valuable. But it might be wiser to leave it well enough alone. Let's try to fish something out. So this is another role where we can use anomalous essence, but because a major thing we're trying to get is anomalous essence, using it to get it is kind of a waste if we can help it. So let's choose our character with the most willpower, which is Jody. We'll roll the dice. And she succeeds.
Bad, right?
And she's going to get her intelligence, her willpower is going to improve now because she succeeded. You can see that. So we got some grains, and we got some more anomalous essence to help us on our future rolls. So we're going to take those grains and let Billy carry them and keep moving. All right, I think we're across a river from home. And at some point, I should probably scavenge just a little bit more. Ooh, a grenade. Who wants to carry a grenade? I'm thinking maybe Billy wants to carry a grenade. Got some energy drink. We've got some cola. We've got some camping gear. Some morale stuff called cigarettes. And, okay, some stuff to start a fire. So we got some fire starting stuff. That's good to have on hand. That was kind of the main thing I was worried about us having 0 of. And real quick, before we get up there, let's load up all of our gear here. Let's load our weapons. We'll put in our full magazines. And put in some buckshot. Though actually, okay, so he also has some slugs now, which does extra damage and penetration. So I think I'll actually let's unload this. And let's put in slugs for this next fight. Let's head up the hill. And now this is a pretty tough fight that I have lost multiple times. So I'll probably... We might have to reload this. We'll have to see. The side of them hits you with a blow like a gunshot. Soldiers assembled at the shelter like prison guards. They came in with a massive truck. Practically everyone in the shelter could fit inside. That truck becomes important. The leading soldier grins at you. Took your sweet time getting here, huh? We'll be taking the kids here to a safer shelter. You'll be compensated, don't worry. They came around looking for kids. That's what the bandits at Riverside said. I'm so tired of this. Everything we did, all those corpses to get a meal back, just for them to be taken again. By the army, exactly like your child. I couldn't save them either. I'm still powerless. You don't have to be. There's always a choice. You can fight back. It'd be mad to resist. The world's gone mad. Why stay sane? I don't want your compensation. Your squad mates look to you, awed and terrified. What the hell kind of authority do you think you have here? By the way, the reason Jodie didn't gain morale is because her morale is maxed out. I need to actually do an interaction with her to upgrade her morale, and then keep building it to try to keep upgrading it. But anyway, let's just draw my weapon. And continue. Okay. I've got to protect Jodie. Because if Jodie dies again, she's proper dead. I think everybody's good. So now... we're out here.
You want something done right.
Okay, so rifleman. So we got a breacher here. And he has got, I think, grenades and an auto shotgun. He's very dangerous if he gets close. This rifleman has got a very powerful assault rifle that he could fire and fire and fire and fire. These guys are both incredibly deadly. And so it has to be a priority for us.
I can probably do this.
To take them out before they can do anything to me. So this guy, he's got to die.
This will only strengthen my character.
I do like that line. This will only strengthen my character. So I took down most of his AP. He can still fire twice, though. However, if he decides... he's bleeding. If he decides to bandage himself, that might keep him occupied. So he might be okay. The breacher is still a big danger. Billy
I'll do my
has...
best.
Billy's got a grenade. And I'm not sure how far he can fire a grenade. How far he can throw it. It only costs him 10, though. So I'm thinking before the breacher gets a chance to throw a grenade at me, I should throw a grenade at him. So how far can Billy get? No, let's back out of this. How far can Billy get on 30 AP? He can get there, or he can get here. Okay, I'm going to send him here and see if I can get that grenade to go where I want it. Yes, I can.
Grenade!
Okay, so the guy's not dead, but again, his AP is taken way down. So that's good. And now we've got these patrol officers who are going to come charging at us as well. And so I've got to be ready for them. Now, if I run up with 35 AP, I can shoot this guy once, which will take down his AP further. But Simon will be in the line of fire for them to try to take him out. However, the main thing I need is for them not to take Jody out, because Jody will die. Simon being on the front lines, we could do worse.
Keep going.
Okay. So that's it. So Jody,
Good choice.
can she fire again? No line of sight on that guy. But if she moves 10, I think we got enough tactical advantage. She can shoot the breacher. She can. Breacher's dead. Okay, great. And the rifleman, I think he might have just enough AP to heal himself, so we might still be dealing with him next turn. But he's... The thing he also could do is shoot me one time as his last act. I'm not sure what he's likely to do. Let's then turn and see.
Moving out.
So I don't think the patrol officers are a huge danger, because they can't get close enough to be effective yet. Well, define effective. That was kind of effective. Holy cow! Okay, so he did do the suicide move. He shot and then bled to death. Okay, so I'm going to assume that Simon is not really dead, just like Jody was not really dead. So, let's see if we can take these guys out. Now, actually, Jody is my most reliable one. Let's see what Billy can accomplish. Possibly not a lot. With his shotgun, because he decided to run over here to throw the grenade, he's not very close to these guys. And he would have to move quite a ways to get close. Now, if he switched to his pistol, now, he does have a line of sight on one of them, but ineffective range, and last time he tried that with the shotgun, it didn't work. He is firing slugs, technically, but I don't know if they're actually treating the slugs like slugs, where it's like firing a rifle, kind of. So what I think I might do is, let's switch him to his pistol. So that costs him 10 AP, but he can fire 3 times. And so that means he can potentially cost this guy, even if he's kind of ineffective, he can cost this guy a lot of AP, which makes him a little less dangerous on his turn.
Maybe it's a little reckless, but...
Okay, so now Jody can shoot at this guy and maybe take off not only his AP, but his friends as well.
My time to shine.
Okay. So now she's got 15 AP, but we've got a lot of tactical advantage. So let's try to take out this guy as well.
Checkmate.
Missed, but now their AP is really, really low. I don't think she can take another shot.
If you say so.
Billy might be able to, though. Yeah, so let's use the last of our tactical advantage we can afford to use here.
I'm not afraid of any wounds.
So that guy's got no AP now. And let's leave it there for now. So this guy can move, and that's it. Okay, so now Jody, she's got one more shot before she has to reload. Let's try to use that shot on this guy. And in fact, we missed him last time. Let's spend some extra AP to make sure we hit.
My time to shine.
All right. And now the other guy has moved. He might be in position where Billy can now hit him. No. But Billy can move until we see that line. And now Billy can shoot him. And he's down. Now let's see if my character comes back. Simon? Where are you, Simon? Okay, Simon seems to be on his feet. Yeah, he's just injured. But notice Jody doesn't list as injured. Does that mean that... Did resting keep her from being injured? I'm curious, because, like, I mean, maybe it's just only showing the new injuries. Maybe she is still injured. I'm not sure how it works. This is all new to me. But we've got an assault rifle. That's cool. We've also got a combat shotgun. Is that a better 45? This one does 9 damage. This one does 13. That is a better 45. Let's hand some things around here. Make some room. And let's let her grab that 45. Specialist backpack. 49? Hold on. Okay. How much space does this one have? This one also has 49. Okay. 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 This backpack is the thing I'm most excited about. Let's not worry about this. Let's dismantle this shotgun. You can't dismantle melee weapons for some reason. Not sure why. The Ansible we definitely want to keep carrying. I'm just going to empty everything out of this guy's backpack so that we can swap it. This is great. I think he's got space for this, and we got space for that. Okay, new backpack. Right, he already has a large backpack. I'm an idiot. I'm a massive, massive idiot. Okay, so let's put all this crap back. A helmet, armor 10%. You've proven you need it. So it's freaking Jody that needs this. So let's empty Jody's backpack, which is quicker because she has such a tiny backpack. Let's give her this backpack. There we go. Now she can carry more. And, oh, she gets some outerwear. Nice. And actually, wait, this kind of goes better with the hat. Let's give him the outerwear. We'll find her some outerwear too. Don't worry about it. Okay, so now let's stack up the ammo on the people that are going to use it. Eventually, we are going to get a better place to keep a lot of this stuff. But for right now, we're just going to do what we can. Oh yeah, she gets another 45 magazine. That's good. More 45 rounds. That's good. Some medicine. Some rations. I'm just piling all this stuff up. Whatever. I'll worry about it later. Okay, we've kept everything because I don't want to leave anything behind. Continue. So now we've got a military truck, and this is when the game becomes Snowpiercer, because what you've got is a mobile community that's going to be using this truck to move around from place to place. You throw open the doors of the shelter and lead the survivors within out into the light to witness your victory. An explosion of cheers rises from the crowd. The bodies of soldiers litter the ground. The spoils of battle are yours, including their truck. Its headlights cut through the haze, and its massive silhouette cannot be ignored. It's big enough to carry everyone and then some. And it works, despite the collapse ruining every other car. You could drive it south. You could find your child. For the first time since the world ended, a slim hope kindles in your chest. But I won't make it alone. Either way, we can't stay here. Tell the survivors the hard truth. With your first words, you confirm their worst fears. The military's on their way. Not only that, but Riverside is dead. The shelters are death traps. Leave? We just got back. Yeah, a rescue mission's one thing, but where would we go? Try to convince Billy. Listen, tensions are running high. We're recovering from 2 attacks now. Don't be rash. If we leave, won't Hilltop end up just like Riverside or worse? I just reunited my family. You expect me to lead them out there? Hell no. Even if the military comes back again, we'll send them packing. We did it once, we can do it again. Please, listen to reason. Even the 2 people who fought alongside you want to crawl back into the darkness. The rest will follow and die there. And with them, the only chance of seeing your child again. How could I possibly convince them? Here's an idea. A gift. The truth isn't enough. They need hope even if it's false. So I need to lie about something. I can either lie about a transmission or lie about a vision. I'll go with transmission, because since I'm carrying this Ansible around.
I know the way.
They said it on the radio. There's a fortified city to the south. They survived. Ever since the collapse, I've seen it. In the dreams and the auroras, now I know it's real. And we can make it there.
Let's take things slow.
Is that true?
Whatever you say.
Well, if that's the case, we'll be sitting on our graves staying here, won't we? Hope spreads like fire. You convince them of your lie. There's nothing waiting in the south, and they won't know until you get there. So that is very similar, actually, to Snowpiercer, the TV series anyway, which is kind of fun. And so that's why it's called Interregnum, a false prophet. The whole idea is you are a false prophet leading a bunch of people with false hope. Your new followers load the truck with supplies and make it something between a home and a shrine and a life raft. The promised land awaits. I wonder what they'll do when they see the truth. And so now we embark on the actual game, which is driving around this truck to different places, exploring them, scavenging, building up our community, and trying to follow the main story by traveling around this world in the truck. But, I mean, we've already played a lot already. I think this is going to be the end of this episode. But let's have a look here. So, yeah, telling us about a caravan base. Here it is. And so what we're going to be doing here is... Okay, this right here. This is the contribution crate. This is where you basically stick items that you've scavenged from out in the world and transform them into resources that your community can use. So you can either hold on to them to use them for crafting or survival or in combat, or you can just convert them into things for your community. And then you can build up your truck to be able to carry more resources. You can build things like temporary shelters and facilities, like tents, like a workshop, to keep your people going and to sort of build up your tech tree. And then so a lot of what you're doing is going out into the world to scavenge things, to bring back to the truck and sort of enhance your people's capabilities. Let's have a look at Jody real quick. So we can get to know Jody here. Basically, there's sort of, as you level up characters' morale, they will sort of unlock little pieces, little anecdotes about themselves, conversations you can have with them to get to know them better, and it upgrades their morale kind of permanently. So, where are you off to? She looks back at you, caught off guard by your interest. My family's traveling with us. They should probably know that I came back alive. That's not a problem for you, is it? She folds her arms, considering you. It's funny, we've been traveling for how long now? We haven't really had a proper conversation. You're leading us out into the unknown, and I barely know who you are. I haven't felt like sharing. So now her maximum morale went up, and so did mine. And so now we get to know each other. And, I'm going to be rushing through this a bit because this has been a long episode. But I'll do a similar thing with Billy. And his maximum morale increases, so does mine. And so, so now these characters, they're getting better. And in fact, there's even more ways these characters can get better. If you look over here at people's abilities, as you go through adventures out in the world, you collect stress points. And stress points can be spent to upgrade the skills that we were upgrading at the beginning during what am I talking about? During character creation, we were choosing, all of these sort of life experiences would upgrade my character's skills. We can now keep upgrading all of those skills using stress points. So the characters can get better and better. Your community can get better and better. But I think we should address that in a future episode. So I'm going to quit this right now, but I've also got some other things I need to do today. But I'm going to come back. I'll make another episode. I'll probably clean a few things up, spend the characters' stress points, things like that. But we'll start a new episode later on, and we'll start traveling around with the caravan and seeing how that experience works. So I think, this game does progress a little bit slowly, so thank you for sitting with me through a fairly long episode. But I am loving this game so far. I'm having a really great time. You can see the rough edges. You can see the fact that it does progress kind of slowly. There are aspects of the combat system that, don't quite give you all the information or the opportunities you feel like you need or deserve. And I was pointing out, we did actually run into a fair amount of combat during this opening prologue, and I even skipped a couple of potential battles in order to make it move quicker. That slows way down as you progress further. The number of combat situations you get into seems to be fairly light and mostly tied to the plot points. And I'm anticipating that they'll probably tune it differently in the future so that becomes a larger aspect of the game. Because right now, most of what I do is just travel around, go through those sort of anomaly experiences, skill checks, and collecting a ton of inventory and try to build up my community. I spent hours and hours doing just that in the game without seeing very much combat. But we'll see how that progresses as I move on with this team. Maybe I'll be able to find some more excuses to get into some fun fights, and we'll be able to see more of that aspect of the game than I have thus far. Part of the problem is, when I'm playing by myself, I cannot justify passing a single building without trying to scavenge it. So that's partly why I spend a lot of time on it. In this playthrough, because I'm conscious of not wanting to spend way too much time on things that aren't that exciting to watch, we might see a very different mix in the experience. But we'll get onto that later. So there is a subscribe button, which you can click if you want to see more of my videos on all kinds of games. And the next video that I make on this game is going to go there when it's ready. I'm not sure if it's ready now while you're watching this, but see what's there and click whatever you want. I'll see you later.